Good evening, vinyl community. It's David Michael. How you doing today? You have to excuse me. I'm a little bit under the weather still. But while I had some time on my hands, I wanted to record more or less a prequel to my last video, where I went to the garage sale. This was a garage sale I went to probably maybe a month and a half prior to the one I went to on Saturday. And the gentleman I was talking about in my last video, Dan Keene, was there, and some other people from the YouTube vinyl community that I'm on. The person having that garage sale, and I have to say it's a garage sale, but it was absolutely stunning what he had. He is, or was, a touring bassist for, I think it was Jerry and the Pacemakers. Someone might correct me if they live in my city and know what I'm talking about. But he had a ton of records, lots of guitars, lots of turntables, and if I only ever go to 2 garage sales in my life, and it was that one and then Dan's a couple days ago, then I'm set for life. So, excuse me. So what I thought I'd do, I thought I'd mix it up a bit and record a prequel video of the garage sale finds I had from that one. So I'm going to get right into it. So he, obviously being a touring bassist, and I said I think it's Jerry and the Pacemakers. So if I'm wrong, I'm going to keep on saying that's what he is. It's one of those bands anyways. See, looking at his records, you can tell he's overseas a lot because there's a lot of imports, and he's a huge Beatles fanatic, and there's a lot of Beatles stuff there. I mean, a lot of Beatles stuff there. And one of the only Beatles things I picked up from him was kind of, and I hate the word grail, but I've always wanted this one, and I found it there. And it's the Magical Mystery Tour double 7-inch. And I have to preface everything I'm saying, and people who were there who might be seeing this video, they'll know what I'm talking about when I say the prices were amazingly good. So I think, I'm trying to think of what I paid for this. I guess it's irrelevant, maybe 20 bucks. So that was one of my personal better finds from that garage sale. And I'm hoping I'm making sense. Like I said, I'm a bit under the weather, and I got some time to kill while everyone's busy staying away from me, trying not to get sick. This was one of my better finds as well, and yeah, it's the mobile Fidelity pressing of Dark Side of the Moon. This was $5, and it's obviously, to all of you in the know, you know that this is probably, to my ears, it's the best pressing I own. I have an original Canadian and a couple other pressings. This one is, maybe you can see my rest of my room there. Anyways, that was, yeah, so that was from that garage sale, and to say it's in mint condition is an understatement. It's a little bit of coverwear, but it's perfect. Maybe I'll try to keep this. Maybe I'll try to keep this a little bit in theme here. John Lennon collection. I'm not sure why I never had this one, but I have most of the Lennon solo albums. But when you can't decide, this one will do. All Things Must Pass. It's complete with poster. The vinyl is immaculate. So that was I think the 3 Beatles related items I got from that sale was this, the Lennon collection, and the Magical Mystery Tour double 7-inch. I got a really nice original Polydor pressing of Free, Fire and Water. I'm going to try not to make this too long tonight. Like I said in my last video, I was going to try to shorten them up a bit. So Fleetwood Mac in Chicago. I was just going to say this is an album I always thought it was kind of like a lesser Fleetwood Mac album. I like the Peter Green stuff, and of course I love the Buckingham Nicks stuff, but this is kind of like in that in-between area where it's, you know, there's a lot of other blues artists on with them. Otis Spann, Willie Dixon's on it, Honey Boy Edwards, and I was amazed when I played it how much I loved it. So that was at the garage sale. Kraftwerk, it's a vertical label pressing, Accelerate, and I'm not sure if this was Canadian only. It might have been released in some other territories, but it's kind of like a collection of their earlier work. As you can see, the albums it covers there. So I got that there. This is some kind of weird Kinks. As you can see, it's an import. Some kind of weird Kinks collection called Lola. I'm sure it's a budget compilation. Yeah, it's pretty decent. I also got a copy of Talking Heads 77. I think that was probably one of the only Talking Heads albums I didn't have. And I got Tonight's the Night. But what's cool about this one, it's in a textured sleeve. And it's got the book inside that I believe folds out into a poster. There you go. So, apart from the collectible Beatles stuff, most of the prices varied. Like there was a lot of $2 stuff, and I would say the average price was $5 to $10, if my recollection serves me correctly. So it was all, and then once you bought a big stack, he was nice enough to give you a nice deal on top of it. So these were definitely way, way, way below market value. The Yardbirds little games. Now what's cool about this one is this is an original first pressing on the Capitol 6000 series, and I don't know if the camera will see that, but it's in beautiful condition, and I do mean beautiful. So that was at that garage sale. I haven't bothered to look at what pressing this is of the Yardbirds Roger the Engineer. I know it's definitely not an original pressing, but I mean, how awesome was that to find? I know it's some kind of earlier pressing anyways, and I didn't have it, so. I definitely do remember this was $5. This was a super disc version of Who Are You? Sorry, I just gotta clean up a little bit here. Like I talked about in my last video, I usually bring my wife to these sales. She's my filter, so I'm not spending all my money, or all of our money, I guess. And then also, the shallow thing is that I can pass her albums and she holds them for me. So why I mention that is because as I'm madly pulling records with all the other people that were going nuts like I was, I pulled 2 copies of this album, Traffic. So this isn't a later island pressing. And then when I got home, because you know, my wife just gave him the stack of records and he gave me a price, and then I got home and I realized that I also had grabbed a different copy of it on United Artists. So I did grab 2 copies of this album. So the other one I'll eventually use for trade bait or something like that. A Jade Warrior released. What's cool about this one, vertical swirl. I don't think Jade Warrior is one of the more collectible vertical swirl ones, but I don't have a lot of them, so the ones I do have I kind of cherish. So I got a copy of Jade Warrior Kites. The Nice Elegy. I quite like this album. I wasn't knowing what to expect from this album. It's a live album, but I really, really enjoyed this album. Pentangle Basket of Light. That was a blind buy on I don't even know what label this one was on. I'm going to guess it's on Reprise Records. This is one of those blind buys. I think it was in his $3 bin, $5 bin, and it just looked psych, so I bought it. Elephant Candy, The Fun and Games. Decent little album. I liked it. Status Quo. Oh, God, I'm going to try to say this while feeling under the weather. Picturesque match-stickable messages from the status quo. It's on Pi Records. This might be up there with the Pink Floyd Mobile Fidelity pressing of my best find of that day. And it has to rank up there with one of my best finds for progressive rock anyways, is Beggar's Opera. Now what's cool about this is just it's the vertical swirl pressing, and it's the one that folds out. The whole cover folds out. I don't think the camera's going to catch that all. But hello, there you go. So that was 2 vertical swirls at that sale. I got a copy of Nectar recycled. This one, for all the records I got that day, the one that surprised me the most, that I liked it the most. I knew the name from people I know on record forums, so I picked it up blindly, and I really, really liked it. Thunderclap Newman on Polydor. Another record I knew by reputation only. That's looks to be some kind of I don't know. It doesn't matter if it's original. It's on Polydor. The needle drops and it plays. So that is, I think, I'm looking around me here. I had them all put aside, but I think that's that was from the garage sale before last. So there was 2 garage sales within 2 months, and if you watch my last video and combine it with what I got in that video with this, those 2 garage sales alone is probably 2 of the best grouping of finds I've had in. I've been collecting. I'm 45, so I've been actively collecting since I was probably as much as I could when I was 12, so a lot of years. So if you've watched this and if you made it all the way through, thank you for allowing me to show you something different. That's not just this week's finds.